I'm sitting with Mr. Kenny Warwick, producer of all the great American shows. Thank you for joining me on the Blonde Bimbo Show. How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks, Brooke. It's kind of appropriate because I don't know whether even you know this. Before I came to America to do American Idol, I used to produce, direct and choreograph Miss World for 20 years when it was big in Europe. I mean, it's still going now, in actual fact. I don't do it anymore. But it's still pretty big in Southern Hemisphere and across Asia. And
yes, it is. I
big.
keep tracks of it, especially now there's a lot of publicity around it because the girls seem to have a past and all that comes out.
Well, occasionally it does, but you know, I often used to say I speak fluent bimbo because I used to consistently take, there was between 103 and 120 girls every year. Yeah. And we used to go to far-flung places in the world, and the thing I used to enjoy about it was we could go off into the desert. No one else was going to give me 120 of the most beautiful girls in the world to go off when I was choreographing and do a music number in the middle of the desert or in the jungle or
That's
you know.
got to be an experience, 120
I have to say, I loved it. Of course, when I first started, there's always this feeling that just because a girl's good looking, she's stupid. Yeah. Especially if she's a beauty queen. But I kind of very rapidly began to realise that a lot of these kids, a lot of these girls come from poor countries. And the truth of the matter is, it takes a lot of guts to put on a swimming costume or a bikini and walk down that catwalk and say, this is it, this is me, what do you think of me? And, you know, they were 18, 19, they weren't exactly the most experienced people in the world, but they did it to better their life, and to a certain extent, many of them actually did.
I'm the Blonde Bimbo for the Blonde Bimbo Show, right? And I'm trying to put together an idea for all the Brits out there who are like girls like me who have big dreams and they want to make it in LA, and our only experience of LA is in these reality shows. What would you say, as someone who's been very successful in this part of the world, what advice would you give me?
In truth, Brooke, because Hollywood, and Los Angeles particularly, is the quintessential centre of, it's a destination of every girl who wants to be a famous actress in the world. So the one thing you are not short of in Hollywood and in LA is good-looking girls. I mean, there's an old Burt Bacharach song that says, all the stars that never were are parking cars and pumping gas. And it's very, very true. The first thing you need if you want to work in America, because the truth of the matter is the money is considerably better in America than it is anywhere else in the world. I literally earn 20 times a week the amount that I used to earn in England. And I was pretty successful in England. I used to make, not just Miss World, I made Gladiators, the series when it was on, and Don't Try This at Home, and a lot of your primetime Saturday night television shows. And I literally make 20 times a week the amount of money that I made then. So if you're going to make it, obviously this is the place you want to make it. Yeah. So, but the thing is, first thing you've got to do is make sure you've got a work permit. It's so frustrating if you do turn up and you do manage to get a job to find out that you can't actually work because the Americans are very, very tough on work permits. So first thing, make sure you've got a permit that allows you to work here. Second thing you need to do, if you're going into the acting or music business, is get some form of representation. You are not taken seriously in America unless you've got someone else who is promoting you. They won't even look twice at you if you walk through the door on your own and say, well, this is me, what do you think? The straight answer is, well, I've got a queue of 30 people out there that are thinking the same thing. So make sure that you have, if you can, get a good representation. Get an agent, get an agency if you're modelling. Make sure that you've got a record producer or someone who's interested in you. The truth of the matter is, the best way to make it is for you to be promoted in your own country. If you can walk in and say, I am the best I'm the best in England, I'm the best in France, there's a lot more chance that they will take you seriously than if you just walk through the door and say, oh, well, I did okay in my own country. Yeah. It is very, very tough because there are so many girls out there. And it's sad because I doing American Idol, I literally see about 100,000 kids a year who want to be singers. The thing about American Idol, at least it's the American dream. You know, you can be cleaning a window, flipping a hamburger, and 3 months hence be the biggest star in America. Happened to Kelly Clarkson. She was a cocktail waitress. She came to LA. She tried to make it. Didn't happen for 3 years. Now she can sing. She really can. She's got a great voice. She came. She did American Idol. She got through, and you know the rest is history. Really, Jennifer Hudson, who won the Oscar for Dreamgirls, she I mean, I remember her standing in front of me and auditioning, and me thinking, she's good. She could make it. Now, she wasn't as good as she is now. She was a church singer who really belted. She was a belter of a singer, and it was all a bit much for me. You know, there wasn't the kind of emotion that I like in a voice. But the fact of the matter is that walked out on that stage, and she came 5th. She didn't even win American Idol. But look at, the rest is history for her too. Really.
Yeah.
It's a tough place to make a living. It's a tough place to become famous. But if you do it, there ain't no place like it on earth.
What would you say is the highlight of your career?
The highlight of my career? There's been a number, to be honest, Brooke. That you go. I remember I wanted to be an actor when I was a kid, for the simple reason that it was easy for me. I thought acting was dead easy, it was a piece of cake. And I joined a number of amateur acting societies in Liverpool, in actual fact.
Liverpool?
In Liverpool, that's where I came.
There recently.
Yeah, I mean, it was... oh, yeah. Oh, actually, I heard about that. Well done on that. Yeah.
Thank you.
But the fact was, I was a kid actor, and I was getting all the junior leads in a lot of good plays in Liverpool. But, of course, you were a big fish in a small pond, and I was never going to make it. But while I was there, of course I was 17 or something, all the good-looking girls were dancers. And I thought, I've got a good sense of music, I could do that. So I actually ended up going to a dancing school. And I actually lived in a cupboard under the stairs in a friend's house, like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I literally did that. I lasted for 8 months on £25.
So dancing Harry Potter.
Yeah, dancing Harry Potter. That's what. It was very much like it was. What's the musical in London where the kid that danced it?
Billy Elliot.
Billy Elliot. It was a Billy Elliot kind of existence. It really was.
Yeah.
But the first real break was I came to London, and a friend of mine phoned up and said, "Oh, there's an audition for a singing and dancing group that was on television at the time called The Young Generation. Come along."
I know about that.
Yeah. And literally, I had gone from existing for 8 months on £25 overnight to earning a job that paid me £60 a week, and it was just the most. I got the audition.
Yeah.
Because I could sing a bit. I wasn't a particularly good dancer at that time. I was surrounded by these beautiful girls that were all dancing. I mean, it really was very intimidating. I was shy. I didn't open my mouth for about 8 weeks when I first got the job. But I remember that particular night when I walked out, I think, I can't believe this. I've actually got a job doing this, and they're paying me at the BBC, and it was fantastic. That was the first big break. Yeah. But I suppose, obviously, winning the BAFTA for the very first Pop Idol series in England was a big night for me. And I'm up now. I've got 8 Emmy nominations. This coming up for
wow! Oh my God. You're intimidating me now.
Oh no. It's a nice feeling, but the truth of the matter is that I've had 60 nominations now. I won the Gold Rose of Montreux. That was huge.
Ooh.
Because that's the biggest thing in Europe that you can win. Every television station in the whole of Europe put in an entry, and they told us, look, you stand a very good chance of winning something. We're going to put you in one of these tables in front. We thought, God, we've won the bronze or something. And it wasn't like categorised. There was only one Gold Rose out of the whole, out of everything.
Yeah.
And we sat down and we thought, oh God, and the bronze came, and it wasn't us.
Yeah.
And we thought, oh my God, we've won the silver. That's fantastic. And the silver came, and it went to someone else. And we thought, the buggers, they've stood us up, they've made us think we were going to win something, and we're not going to win. And out walked, I think, one of the Director Generals of the BBC and started to give this speech. And as he was giving this speech about a television programme that showed the hopes and the dreams of youngsters who were trying to make it in a difficult business, it suddenly dawned on me, God, they're talking about us. And then they said the winner of the Gold Rose is Pop Idol, and that was the very first series that I ever did before I brought it to America, and that was a special night too. But the truth of the matter is that life's a journey, not a destination, and there's no one great fabulous night. Hopefully it's peppered with them, and you do have to look success and failure in the eye and treat both imposters the same. Because it's a very true saying. You are never as brilliant as people are telling you, especially in Hollywood. But by the same token, when it all goes wrong, you're never as stupid as they try and make you feel either. So that's something to live by.
Well, thank you very much. Very wise words from Mr. Warwick there. I think people are feeling inspired. I definitely am. It's given me a lot to think about. Thank you very much for joining me on the Blonde Bimbo Show.
You're very welcome. You're the prettiest blonde bimbo I've seen in years.
No.
Thank you, darling.